Hey guys, it's the Cadillac Doctor again. Um, I've been answering a lot of questions lately online about the Northstar engine, first, second, third, and fourth generation. Northstar started in 1992, I believe, in the Cadillac Alante, which was a Pininfarina body design in Italy. Obviously came a long way. It lasted until 2012. That's a pretty good run for an engine design. There's been a lot of back and forth banter and argument about the quality of the engine itself. A lot of people saying that it's a garbage engine, or it's got too many issues, or it always leaks oil, or anything like that. My personal opinion and my personal experiences with Northstar is they're probably more robust than most engines I've ever driven. My first Northstar was a '97 in a DeVille. I drove the ever living bag off that thing. I put head gaskets in it at about 310,000 kilometers. I decided at that time to do a complete engine reseal because I had the engine out anyway. And I sold it at 370,000. I was never nice to it. I always did my maintenance, did my oil changes. I used synthetic oil all the time. Obviously, I did my transmission services and everything like that. One of the things I want to discuss is that no one should just, kind of assume that a higher quality engine is magical and that it'll just last forever and ever and ever. You always have to do your maintenance, regardless of what make or model you own or how old it is. One of the most important things is to always do your maintenance. You can't expect something to last if you don't look after it. Just like your house, if you don't look after your house, it won't last. Then you're going to end up with a whole bunch of issues, and eventually it'll be condemned over the course of time. That's what happens to vehicles. Make sure as far as the body, you're flushing out your wheel wells, making sure you get up in there with your pressure wand at your local coin car wash. Don't always depend on drive-through car washes. Make sure you're getting right up in there, flushing out all the junk out of your wheel wells, stuff like that. Getting back to the Northstar engine, a lot of people don't like it because it's a little bit more complicated to work on. If working on your own engine, or if you're at a point where you're not sure whether you possess the personal skills necessary to perform a repair, let your professional do it. Don't just assume that you can figure out how to do it on YouTube or anything like that. Don't get me wrong, I'm not detracting. I'm not saying that nobody on YouTube knows what they're doing. I was a journeyman technician for almost 2 decades. I've worked at several GM dealers. I worked as a Northstar specialist, actually. And in no way am I'm this channel isn't sponsored by General Motors or Cadillac or anything like that. This is strictly based on my own theories and opinions about Cadillacs, particularly Northstars. Sorry for my voice, guys. I'm just getting over a cold here. As far as the Northstar goes, if you're afraid to spend money on a car, a high-end car is not for you. You will be disappointed. It will cost you money to keep it on the road. On the other hand, if you are willing to make that investment and the rest of the car is in good enough shape and condition, then that is for you. That is something that you can invest in and be assured that that car is going to get you more miles down the road. Whereas if you just give up on it and just kind of, it already needs this, so I'm not going to put any more money into it. I'm just going to drive it till it drops. Well, that's exactly what's going to happen. It is going to drop. And by the time you get that estimate in your hand and you're looking at a $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 fix, of course you're going to say, no, I'm not going to put that kind of money into this car. Or, this car was a piece of garbage because it cost me money. All cars cost money. The difference is, how long do you want to drive that car? How long do you want to drive in comfort and style? I love Cadillac cars. I've always loved Cadillac cars. Obviously, I have some models and years that I'm more partial to than others. I'm sure just like everyone else does. But It really, really, really comes down to the overall upkeep of the vehicle. It's not how much money to the dollar you spent on it. It's how you look after it. If the oil change, if your oil life index says it's coming due for an oil change, get it in there. And don't cheap out on the oil. It's way cheaper to change your oil than to change your engine. Getting back to the Northstar design, when's the last time you heard of a Northstar kicking a rod through the side of the block or spinning a bearing? It's a very extremely rare occurrence. In 2 decades, and most of the prime of my automotive expertise, I worked at dealerships, and that was right in the heyday of the Northstar generation. And I've literally never even heard a story about a Cadillac Northstar spinning a bearing. It's an incredibly unusual occurrence. If somebody tells you that they blew up their Northstar, it was probably due to neglect. Oh, I haven't changed the oil in 15,000 or 20,000 kilometers. Ha 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 ha. Look what I'm getting away with. Well, you're not really getting away with that much. Don't get on the internet and slam a product because you neglected it. You didn't look after it, and then you were disappointed in its performance and longevity. That's pretty much my rant on that. Feel free to comment below. A lot of people are going to disagree with me on this. Again, I've owned, I'm going to say I've owned 5 or 6 Northstars at this point, and I've had really, really, really good luck with a lot of them. All of them, actually. I had to do a crankcase reseal on my most recent one. So it stopped leaking oil. There's an update for that. There's a General Motors bulletin for that. It never leaked a drop of oil after that. And I drove it the same way. I ran the ever-loving bag off the thing, and it loved every second of it. I never had a valve tick. I never had a gasket blow out the side or anything like that. I've never spun a bearing. I've never kicked a rod. Make sure you're doing your maintenance. Change your oil. If your local shop, I got to be careful here the way I'm saying this, but as a journeyman technician, I would recommend going to a shop, even for quick oil changes and stuff like that. I'd recommend going to a shop, whether it's a dealer or an independent shop. I'd recommend going to a shop just because going there, they're going to be more inclined to. Again, I have to be careful with my terminology because I can't be slamming all the quick lube places. But the shops tend to take a few more seconds of care, and there seems to be, more honesty when they're recommending services to you, whether it be an engine flush or a transmission service or anything like that. I'm here where I am in Canada. Your quick lube places are not required to have a licensed technician on duty. To me, that's a pretty serious downfall. Some of them do, some of them don't. And in a lot of cases, they're performing services that are actually illegal to perform without a licensed technician on duty. If you're getting your brake system flushed, it is illegal to touch a brake system in a shop without a licensed technician on duty. That's not something you want to take lightly. You want to make sure that you have the legal backing to, and I'm not saying just go sue the pants off of anyone who ever makes a mistake, but you want to have the legal backing as well as the expertise in place with anyone who's touching your car, regardless of what make and model it is or how old it is. There's nothing to say that your 1-year-old Cadillac shouldn't be receiving the same level of quality and care that your 20-year-old Cadillac does. Just because a vehicle gets a little bit older doesn't mean you just give up on it. If you give up on it, it'll give up on you, and eventually it'll leave you at the side of the road. That's not just for Cadillacs, that's not just for Northstars, that's every make and model of vehicle available. If you just want to kind of have disposable cars, maybe leasing or renting is better for you. But anyway, I am the Cadillac Doctor. Until next time, take care.